Welcome back. Now, the Economic Freedom Fighters says that it will take up its opposition bench's position and continue to agitate and mobilise the Progressive Caucus in Parliament. It says that it will work with other parties which are ideologically aligned to the EFF's position. And this, of course, comes after 3 more parties left the Progressive Caucus to join the Government of National Unity. The ANC, meanwhile, says it has not closed the door on other parties represented in Parliament, and it continues to engage those parties. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to announce his new executive within the next few days. At least this is what we've been told and what we've been saying as we wait for the president to make that announcement. But let's now bring in the EFF's Member of Parliament, Sam Matiase, who is going to speak to us about where they are at the moment. Sam, thanks so much for your time. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, Sakina, and morning to your colleagues and viewers at home. It's nice to be in South Africa today. We live in interesting times.
Interesting times indeed. So if we look at where the EFF has been on this Government of National Unity, the party has said that it rejects this Government of National Unity, which includes the DA and the Freedom Front, plus with the contempt that it deserves. So firstly, perhaps to bring us up to speed, those who are not in the know, why the EFF has taken up that position, and also, as we speak, as we await the announcement of Cabinet, does the EFF still hold that position?
Well, thanks for the opportunity, Sakina. The EFF still holds that position. We reject this fat and set Mahlalisane arrangement between the DA, the ANC, and all other like-minded Oppenheimer-funded parties. We reject this with contempt because the DA and the Freedom Front Plus represents an existential threat to the collective survival of black people in this country. Everything that the DA and the Freedom Front Plus stands for is about reversing the gains of democracy. It's about subjecting black people to inferiority conditions. It's to subject black people to conditions experienced under colonialism and apartheid.
So you talk about Oppenheimer-funded parties. What about members who were previously part of the Progressive Caucus, like the PAC, like the UDM, Al-Jama'ah, who have now left the Progressive Caucus to join the Government of National Unity? What does that make them?
Well, those are not Oppenheimer-funded parties. The PAC has a history of struggle. The Al-Jama'ah is on the side of the people, stands with the Palestinian people. It is part of the struggles in the Western Cape and Gauteng and other provinces. They remain our class allies until they review their position on whether to be part of the Progressive Caucus or to be part of a marriage of convenience between the DA and the ANC. They are most welcome. We shall not hate them because they have chosen to join the fat and set arrangement.
I'm just curious to know, Sam, in terms of the Progressive Caucus, did those parties inform you of their intention to join the Government of National Unity? And if so, were there any reasons provided, or was that even necessary to give reasons to the Progressive Caucus?
Well, as we said before, and we'll repeat that today, again, that the leaders of those parties are pretty much senior citizens. They're old. They've been around for the longest of time. They may want to be seen as revolutionary, but they have lost the appetite and the desire to pursue revolution. You would recall that revolution, it's a youthful activity. And shame, they would want to lay their hands on the spoils of executive positions. They would want to become part of what is called the scenes of incumbency and be part of ministers. They want to leave a legacy for their own children and grandchildren. So let us allow them to exercise their right to choose what they want, especially during this critical time of their years, in the twilight of their lives.
So as for the Progressive Caucus going into Parliament now, the African National Congress has announced that 10 of the 18 parties with seats in the National Assembly have now signed the Government of National Unity Statement of Intent. So the Progressive Caucus now down to just 3 parties from the 6 that it began with last month. So what is your posture going to be now going forward in the National Assembly? And also, have you closed the door on entering this Government of National Unity, or are you still open to talks and negotiations with the African National Congress?
First and foremost, I wanted to respond to the Progressive Caucus. And I will borrow a few words from Lenin. He said, fewer but better. We'll remain fewer where we are. We'll continue to occupy our opposition benches. Will continue to agitate for change, radical change in this country, even if it means we have to stand alone. We will not really shun on those who have left the Progressive Caucus. We hope that they have not left it, but they have just taken a tactical detour. On whether we have closed the door on negotiations with the ANC, we have said to the ANC, we are more than willing. We are the first to pronounce that we are willing to hold hands with the ANC and build this country for a transformed and radical change in the country, especially in addressing economic aspects which have been neglected for the longest time by the ANC. The door has not been shut. It is the ANC that is listening to white supremacists who want to continue to act as supervisors of the ANC, who are telling the ANC not to work with the EFF or to work with MK Party. It's not us, it's the ANC listening to white people. Mosotho wa kgale a re, lekgowa ke setlhare sa Mosotho, was meaning exactly what the ANC is subjecting all of us to, under the supervision of supremacists, racists, and fascists of all types in this country, who are black hating, who are anti-black, who exist to demean and to belittle black people and their little achievements and successes. It's not us, it's the ANC. Let the people decide on what they do with the ANC. Let the people be the final arbiter on whether the ANC is the true disciplined force of the left or is a reactionary outfit that is there to serve white interest, as it has been doing for the last 30 years.
So, Sam, if the ANC were to come back and say, EFF, we as the ANC, as the party who garnered the most support in the most recent general election, want to establish a government of national unity that includes all political parties that have garnered a seat in the National Assembly, would the EFF be open to entering such an arrangement? We
have placed before the ANC minimum demands of our people as contained in the Freedom Charter. Sakina, and I want to make this as a metaphor. The 10 commandments are to what the Freedom Charter clauses are to the liberation of black people in this country. It will be hypocritical of the Christian community not to uphold to the values contained in the 10 commandments. Similarly, it will equally be hypocritical, and it is hypocritical, of the ANC to continue to tell our people that it stands steadfast in the values and the aspirations of the Freedom Charter and do nothing about that. What the EFF has presented to the ANC is that live up to your commitment, implement the minimum program, which is the Freedom Charter. Expropriate land, nationalize the mines and other strategic sectors of the economy, open the doors of learning, and all those minimum modest demands. We will not make many further demands to the ANC if it can only meet its own commitments as contained in the Freedom Charter. Of course, yes, other executive positions and all of that is, by the way, in ensuring that we contribute meaningfully in ensuring that those minimum demands are met, especially on our insistence that the Ministry of Finance must be assigned to the economic freedom fighters, to the most capable of his leaders, the Deputy President Floyd Shibambu. We are not essentially about positions, but we're about the demands and the needs and aspirations of our people.
So in other words, as things stand, the EFF stands by its position that it started out on because obviously from where we are sitting and watching this, those conditions are unlikely to be met given everybody who is encompassed in that government of national unity. So in other words, it's not going to happen.
We will join the government of national unity provided that its border must be a coalition government, not a repeat of a failed government of national unity of 1994, a sellout arrangement. 2, on condition that the fascist and racist anti-black organizations, the DA and the Freedom Front Plus, are not part of that arrangement. Those are our minimum demands and conditions we are placing before the ANC.
So moving on, are you as the EFF planning on engaging the Umkhonto weSizwe Party in any capacity, whether to join the Progressive Caucus or otherwise?
Well, the EFF will not wait idling when its class opponents ravages the gains of democracy, the modest and minimum as they may be. And these opponents are unleashing untold hatred and marginalization and blackmail against the EFF. Why should we be in the same arrangement, in the same boat with them? We can't be in the same boat with such elements who display their superiority attitude now as they deal with the ANC for demanding ministerial position. Their attitude is like, take it or leave it. And we cannot tolerate such. If the ANC subjects itself to that, sorry, the EFF will not subject itself to white bashing, white abuse, white arrogance that our people on a daily basis in South Africa are subjected to. We're not part of that arrangement. We reject it.
And in terms of Umkhonto weSizwe and your engagements with them, are you engaging them in any capacity at the moment? What is your working relationship with them, if any?
President Jacob Zuma is our grandfather. He's a revolutionary stalwart. He may have committed his own mistakes like all of us. He's there to pursue the good cause of our people. 2, the MK party is a product or a consequence of the struggles that the EFF had been pursuing for the last 11 years. In that, the ANC and its falsehood must be exposed and it must be rejected by the masses of our people through electoral processes. And that what the MK party is contributing towards, the rejection of the ANC, exposing that it is not really serving the interests of the poor. So we and the MK party, we are together. We shall fight side by side until the liberation of a black child is realized in the country. And that liberation is economic freedom in our lifetime. We will be in the same opposition benches with Umkhonto weSizwe. From time to time, they will opt tactical approaches and methods in advancing their own strategy. We will also do the same. We are not one party, we are different independent political formations. At least we are for socialism. We guess that the MK party is also pursuing socialism as an ultimate objective in this country for the liberation of our people.
And that's where we have to leave it. Thanks so much for your time, Sam Matiase, EFF's Member of Parliament, outlining the EFF's position regarding the government of national unity and, of course, the posture that they will adopt in Parliament as well.